Pranayam with internal breath. Consider the experience that Lahiri Mahashaya reports in his diaries when, a couple of years after his initiation at the Himalaya, he wrote, "After an excellent pranayam, today the breath is completely directed inside. After so much time, today the purpose of my descent on the earth has reached." This is a great sentence. The breath has become mental substance, something immaterial. PY describes the same event by referring to an elevated form of Kriya Pranayam where energy moves without utilizing the breath. Method to discover the internal breath. Let us suppose you have just completed your fourth Kriya. After exhaling your breath, don't pause but inhale very, very slowly, feeling that you are really entering the spine. Come up as far as possible, crossing each chakra while trying to reach your head. Proceed with great delicacy and sensitivity. You will discover that you can, very easily, guide the movement of the energy up the spine. Perhaps only for a small stretch. Do not force, it is not necessary to complete that breath. Instead, let your task unaccomplished and start another round of fourth Kriya. After that round, try again your experience with the internal breath. Whatever happens, whatever you perceive, a very delicate current moving up the spine, is precious. At a certain moment you will experience with renewed joy that you are really inside the spine and your pranayam has become more subtle than you ever thought possible. You will feel the beauty and the strength of this process. For some days you will not desire to do any other thing. This work will seem you the most important thing to do. We have written that at the end of Thokar it is wise to practice any technique that guides Kundalini energy to come up to Kutastha. We have up to now counseled the procedure, mental pranayam. Now we describe a higher technique which requires more time but is fantastic. Gayatri Kriya. This technique is very ancient and existed before Lahiri Mahashaya began his mission of spreading Kriya. Its structure is well known in India and is considered the subtlest way of using the Gayatri Mantra. It contains the same principles of the technique Japa 432. Therefore, there is no reason to practice both. The Gayatri Mantra is considered to be a supreme vehicle for gaining spiritual enlightenment. The purest form of Gayatri Mantra is Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dio Yonaha Prachodhyat. Oh, great spiritual light who has created the universe, we meditate upon your glory. You are the embodiment of knowledge. You are the remover of all ignorance. May you enlighten our intellect and awaken our intuition. This mantra is professed with either a short or a long invocation. The short invocation is Om Bhur, Om Bhuva, Om Swaha. The terms Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha are invocations to honor the three planes of existence, physical, astral, and causal respectively, and to address their presiding deities. The long invocation is Om Bhur, Om Bhuva, Om Swaha, Om Maha, Om Jana, Om Tapa, Om Satyam. This invocation is more complete since it recognizes that there are more planes of existence, the 7 lokas. Maha is the mental world, the plane of spiritual balance. Jana is the world of pure knowledge. Tapa is the world of intuition. Satyam is the world of absolute, ultimate truth. We can be satisfied with the explanation that these sounds are used to activate the chakras and connect them to the 7 spiritual realms of existence. In our procedure, we use only the opening long invocation in its complete form and not all the parts of the Gayatri Mantra. The Kriya tradition we are following here links Manipura with Om Maha and Anahata with Om Swaha. The reason is that the world of thinking, evoked by Om Maha, is more appropriate to the nature of the 3rd chakra, while the causal world of pure ideas, evoked by Om Swaha, is related to Anahata chakra. Practical instruction. Become aware of the Muladhara chakra. Contract the muscles near its physical location. The contraction can be repeated 2-3 times. Through a deep inhalation, not necessarily as long as in Kriya Pranayam, Visualize the Muladhara chakra coming up into the point between the eyebrows, where you perceive it as a full moon. You don't come up touching the other chakras. Now they don't exist. Hold the breath and focus on the inner space between the eyebrows. This comes out easily with Kechari Mudra. On the screen between the eyebrows, a particular color experience happens. This color is different for each chakra. Mentally chant at least 3 times the specific mantra for the Muladhara chakra, Om Bhur. Then, through a long exhalation, ideally lower this chakra from the point between the eyebrows to its proper location in the spine. Now you know what to do with each other chakra. The mantras to be utilized are Om Bhur for Muladhara, Om Bhuva for Swadhisthana, Om Maha for Manipura, Om Swaha for Anahata, Om Jana for Vishuddha, Om Tapa for Medulla. Add a particularly intense concentration at the point between the eyebrows. Hold your breath, raise your eyebrows, become aware of the light. Repeat Om Satyam. Now complete the round by lifting chakras 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, always using the contraction, the chanting of the mantra, being aware of any particular light experience in Kutastha. If possible, repeat the procedure 6 to 12 rounds. In Kriya tradition, the chakras are related to the 5 tattvas: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Offering each tattva individually to the light of the spiritual eye, gathering and intensifying in the region between the eyebrows is the highest action ever conceived to dispel the last shell of illusion. The experience of the changing colors in the spiritual eye means to perceive the particular vibration and light frequency of each chakra. By familiarizing with these frequencies leads you to the realization that all the universe exists in Kutastha. Advanced practice. In time it will be possible for you to mentally repeat Om Bhur 36 times holding your breath. This gives you the power to tune with Earth Tattva, experiencing the peculiar vibration of the Muladhara chakra. At the same time, by repeating the mantra Om Bhuva 36 times, it will be possible to tune with Water Tattva having its seat in the second chakra. Then comes the turn of the Fire Tattva. Digression about the effects of an intensive practice of Thokar. The most precious effect is the manifestation of a particular joy in the heart, as if you moved around with an ardent brazier in your heart. This will develop in a bhakti whose intensity will surprise you. You will learn to practice the presence of God and perform your daily duties in His presence. Let us deal with emotions, because it is upon them that the practice of Thokar acts in an admirable way. I have tried to retrace the theme, emotions, in some Oriental books and have found so much rhetoric, too many words without practical meaning. They distinguish between positive, affection, happiness, contentment, and negative, envy, aggressiveness, illusion, emotions. But at the end of boring discussions, you still have not grasped the essential fact: untamed emotions can create disaster in one's life. We are governed by superficial emotions and instincts that include our religious conditioning, our weak points, our fears, our doubts, and our pessimism. It is important to have the ability to keep emotions at bay, going our way even when all the world and even our closest friends are trying to convince us to follow theirs. We all know how frantic and hysterical emotions often rise unexpectedly from one's inner self, then disappear after a while. They actually express a reality devoid of authentic depth, but their propulsive action inevitably results in hurried acts accompanied by a sort of cerebral fever, nourished by a narrow, visceral pleasure. When passion inflames one's whole being, it is not possible to be guided by common sense. The consequence is that our deeper and most earnest choices sometimes withdraw to an irrevocable halt. Just as during the summer hailstones are molded, condensed and enlarged in the air before falling down to the earth and cause disasters. Fatal decisions take shape in advance in one's imagination. During daily, frequent daydreams, The perspective of renouncing something positive which requires a great commitment throws a false light upon our immediate future, so that what in the past would appear as an act of cowardice now seems to glitter at the horizon of our life, like a dull, flat, somber sky that suddenly lights up, serene, illuminous as your blue. When we listen to such alluring emotions, we pave the way for our doom. A wrong decision may become our crucifixion, our covenant with unhappiness, with a state of inner misery that will last a lifetime.